So fingers touching each other. Then T, letter T, then A again.
Already we for ourselves. We have our
Immigration has your data. Banks, oh God, banks have your data. Banks have everything, everywhere. Our data is scattered. And so today, let's talk about, are these data protected? Do I have right to privacy in this country? Can I freely express myself online? No space.
First thing first, you need to ask yourself, which law provides that police have the right to check your phone? Now, if you answer that question, then we know that, Section 45 is justifiable.
Like I promised, we are continuing the discussion of our digital and, what should I say, data and digital right protection as presented by Sarah. Is a conversation that will be with us for quite a long time. Sarah has been at the forefront of mobilizing Nigerians to stand up, not just for their rights, but also be hold government accountable and help the government to be on their toes. There was a workshop put together by the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, Sarah still, and it was for journalists and lawyers, and we're bringing you the video directly where you have the opportunity of being part of that conversation. Like I said earlier on, it's a conversation that will be with us for a very long time. As you already know, we are all on the cyberspace. So, but then there are rights. So, do you know your own right, and do you know other people's right? Do you know when your right is violated and when other people violated your own right as well? Let's see this together.
I'm very happy to welcome you to this important event. Important why? Because we all understand the essence of training. And I'd like us to see these as a two-pronged event. We are learning from you. And perhaps you also will learn from us. The aim is for us to be there much more better informed than we came. And the issue of data and digital rights, we can all understand affects all of us, in as much as we have one of these devices, whether they are handheld or they're phone without court order.
Yes.
And again, there was a time that citizens were informed that security agencies were trailing or surveilling their phones. And there's a code that was sent out to deactivate such surveillance. I think these are perfect examples.
Yes.
I think a violation when it comes to citizens to government agency has to do with releasing confidential information or spreading misinformation that pertains to government agencies.
Yes, releasing confidential information.
In cases like this, as journalists, where do we draw a line in terms of holding the public office holder accountable and, issues and matters around DDR? Thank you.
One is regarding the citizen to government agencies. So as a journalist, and let's paint the scenario. You have a president telling you that fuel subsidy has been removed, but a memo leaked, a confidential document leaked, and as a journalist you were able to get the document, and the document says that the government is secretly funding subsidy. What do you do?
All right, I'm speaking in respect of persons with disability,
Yes, sir.
as it happens to some of us. Well, our account is not just hacked. Well, we first have a kind of investigation. I had a notification that there's something wrong with my account. That's where it all started from. So when I got that notification that a call that there's something wrong with my account, I knew something was wrong somewhere. So I ended the call and I got another call saying that they wanted to help me with their account. And you know what they did? Go check my account, my BVN, everything that has to do with the account, except the account number itself. They're not asking me to supply the account number. And what I did was that you already have every details with you. Do what you should do. That is for my own part. And that was how we ended the call with abuses and curses.
Of course, we know that, as we mentioned before, the public officer is there as a public servant to serve the interest of the general public. And we have, even though we never did at any point in time, but we have collectively donated our powers to these people, to hold office and to govern for us. And that's why the Constitution says we the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and so on and so forth. Therefore, it is expected that a person who occupies a private or a public office, rather, will have their activities and actions scrutinized. And that is why, for instance, before they assume office, they are required to disclose assets. Isn't that so? Even though, well, whether it's honored or not, that's a discussion for another day. But they're required to. And it is at that point, that I don't think this present, I don't know if it has happened. But I know that in the past, that's where, for instance, we knew that a former president had cattle somewhere. Yeah. And after that, every time an issue relating to cattle happened in Nigeria, we're all able to say it's because he has a personal interest, and so on and so forth.
When we talk about data protection in Nigeria, if it hasn't happened to you, you would think that we are safe in this country. Like, my story is similar to what this man said in the front. Sometime I was robbed. At the scene of the robbery, we had to scamper for safety. So it happened that one of us still had her phone. So we were using the phone to call MTN to report the case that please block our line. They were telling us that they don't have networks. We had to call like 3, 4 of the customer care. The other one was not saying that the process, the grammar and the whole thing. And with that pressure there, so it took us like 45 minutes before.
Citizen to citizen, we are talking about recording a conversation without the consent or knowledge of the other person.
Yes. It's Twitter. What about cyberbullying? What about cyber stalking? Gaslighting.
social media accounts.
Surveillance. So it's not enough to think of it in a broad, infringement. But what if, as a journalist, I'm censored to write the next story because somebody is surveilling or monitoring me? Right? Or what if that girl or woman or lady is unable to post on social media because she's afraid that the next thing she's going to see is that you are posting her nude pictures online. So you've got to be able to see it that way, especially because we're talking to journalists who, and of course lawyers who are able to better interpret. Inability to participate is exclusion, right? And that's a violation of what? Right to what? Freedom of what? No, association, right? To participate, expression, right? Okay.
Well, basically, it's necessary that we have, number one, regard for the rights of others. And that's what all this is about, to enlighten us on our rights, duties, and obligations. Because it's just like offline interactions, in-person interactions. Whatever you do, there must be a limit to it. The moment when you begin to, there are incursions into my private space, or whatever you do, if it affects public peace, it affects another individual, your own right ends there, and you have a duty to ensure that you do not violate the rights of other people, or that you do not affect public peace. So generally, for young people, it's essential to ask yourself, is it necessary to put this information out there? Is information beneficial to other people? What is the purpose? What do I intend to achieve by putting this information out there? And what harm will result to me as a result of this? And if you can't answer these questions positively, then probably it's necessary to hold back from doing so. It's the unwarranted and unjustified bullying of another person, mistreatment, discrimination, or any activity that is detrimental to another person, which takes place on the digital space.
Government should, as much as possible, in making laws that would curtail on the rights of the people, also have laws that would preserve the civil liberties of the people. And for instance, social media is a tool to advance the freedom of expression. It is not a monster. It is not to be feared. It is to be used to promote the right of engagement for people to participate in governance. And that is the way government should approach the use of social media. The aim is that at the end of this session, participants have gained enough knowledge of data and digital rights, understanding local context, global perspective, and the nuances of our own contemporary events to be able to, for the media, report on these issues, and for legal practitioners to use them as a tool to protect and promote the data and digital rights of Nigerians. This workshop is one of those the capacity building engagements the SERAP is holding on human rights in Nigeria, specifically on data and digital rights. This is a workshop for specifically two sets of stakeholders, lawyers and media practitioners. You'll probably call them journalists also. And the aim is not far-fetched, to ensure that two critical segments of stakeholders in society understand digital rights enough to use them as a tool in their profession. For media, as part of what they do under Section 22 of the Constitution, to hold government to account and to educate the people. And for legal practitioners to be able to use the tools gained in this knowledge sharing session to protect and promote the rights of Nigerians.